count on. Channel 3 Eyewitness News at noon.
Thank you so much for watching Eyewitness News at noon. I'm Latrice Curry. It is a gorgeous but warm fall afternoon. We're going to check in with David Carnes, who is out on special assignment in just a bit for a look at your forecast. But first, we want to begin with some breaking news. Police are searching in East Ridge for an armed man connected to a carjacking in Catoosa County. Let's go straight to Channel 3's Tanisha Cordell. She joins us live. And Tanisha, what have you been able to find out about this?
Well, Latrice, there's a big search as if anyone's driving up I-75 or just in the East Ridge area right now. We have 3 agencies right now: Hamilton County, Catoosa County, and East Ridge Police Department, all searching for a black man they describe wearing an orange shirt and blue jeans. We're at one of the posts here at Camp Jordan where several of the agencies are posted right now. They've had a drone up in the air. They say this all started with a carjacking in Catoosa County. This man, again, they describe black, orange shirt, blue jeans, stole a car with 3 people inside. Minor injuries to those 3 folks, but he was armed at the time and then fled to East Ridge, crashed on Ringgold Road, and police have been searching for him ever since. As you look back there in the wooded line here where the camera is pointed, there's a Hamilton County deputy's car posted in the wood line there. They've been searching up and down that wood line. And again, just on other side of that wood line is the Welcome Center on I-75, the East Ridge Welcome Center. Now I'm going to turn you around this way. This has been a very active scene. We've seen K-9 units, several deputies coming out with guns and whatnot, just searching in and out of this area right here. You see pointed right here on this other side, we just see a K-9 again, just kind of searching for any clues or anything like that. We spoke with Chief James Reed with the East Ridge Police Department just about this path, because people have been calling and tweeting us saying they've seen this man run across the highway and whatnot. So we asked what the path is, where he's headed, and where they think he might be. Here's what he said.
We have tracked his path. It started out on the south side of Ringgold Road, and apparently he's moved across under different covers, maybe removing his shirt, things of that nature. Come across here close at Ringgold Road to the entrance ramp to I-75 northbound, and apparently made his way down the parkway a little ways and then veered into the wood line to my left.
Now, again, seen very, very active. They've said they have not yet spotted this man. Again, described black man, orange shirt, wearing blue jeans. Now, they're saying there's no danger to the community at this point, even though he is armed at this point right now. Earlier today, we found out that Life Care Center of East Ridge was on lockdown, but we've recently found out that has been lifted and everyone is safe and clear from that. But police are asking anyone in the area to just stay away from the area if you can. And if you see this man or know any information at all, call 911. For now, we're live reporting from East Ridge. Tanisha Cordell, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
All righty, Tanisha, thank you so much as we continue to follow that developing story there out of East Ridge. Well, it is another warm day across the Tennessee Valley. Time now to turn to David Carnes, who is on special assignment live at Lake Winnipesaukee today. David, hello. And the Ghosts and Goblins may be sweating a little bit out there today.
Hey, Latrice, we are at Lake Winnie, and you're right, it is a little toasty out here right now. It's about 80 degrees, on our way to 88. But you know what? Even with the warm weather, fall must go on. And fall certainly is at Lake Winnipesaukee, which is now, for just a month, Lake Winnipesaukee. Ooh, it's all going to start tomorrow night at 6 o'clock at the front gate. There's going to be a huge party. Everyone is invited. And then I would encourage you to get here at 5:30, get your spot, and enjoy the big, huge party welcoming in Lake Winnipesaukee. It is going to be crowded, a lot of fun. Then we're going to see the boardwalk lit up, ready for you. The Wacky Factory, all of the rides are going to be up and running. We take a look behind me, all of the fan favorites. You've got the Ferris wheel, the pirate ship, the Matterhorn is back there. All of the great rides are going to be up and running. Cannonball. I'm trying to think of all the ones that I love to ride. The Ozone is going to be running as well. Later in the show, we're going to show you some of the rides that you'll be enjoying. And not only are the rides up and running, but they have 4 haunted houses on the premises that you can take advantage of, and all kinds of decorations. Some of my favorites are in the water right behind me. You can see that during the summertime, things begin to float up out of the water that have been buried long, long ago. Ooh, look at that, right? Yeah. So that's just part of the fun here at Lake Winnipesaukee, going on every Friday and Saturday night through October, starting tomorrow night with a big party out by the front gate at 6 p.m. You get here at 5:30 and make sure your spot is reserved, and then come on in and have some fun celebrating Lake Winnipesaukee. We'll have more coming up in just a few minutes. Latrice.
All right, they always do a great job out there. Thanks so much, David. Well, back to stories going on here in this area. Chattanooga police still looking for the suspect in a hit and run that injured a 3-year-old child yesterday. Channel 3's Cameron Taylor joins us now live from Milne Street, where it happened. Cameron, are there any clues about the suspect at this time?
Yeah, Latrice, the biggest clue they have is the car he was driving. Chattanooga police sent us a picture of that car from surveillance video from a business. Let's take a look at it right now. Here is the car that they are looking for. It's a silver Chevy Trailblazer with a bike on the back of it. Police tell me the child's grandmother stopped the car and was unloading groceries when her grandson was hit, just 3 years old. We're told several people tried to stop the driver who took off, but that did not work. The little boy was taken to the hospital to be treated for a broken leg, and we are told that he has been released and will be all right. That's what his grandparents told us just minutes ago. Now, they say that car was last traveling south on Dodson Avenue. They say the person who was driving is a black man in his 20s with shoulder-length braided hair. If you have any info that could help out with this case, give Chattanooga police a call. We're live in Chattanooga tonight. Cameron Taylor, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
All right, Cameron, thank you so much for that update. Well, Chattanooga police are investigating a stabbing that happened last night in the 800 block of West 14th Street Court. Officials say 2 men were arguing when they stabbed one another. Both are at the hospital in critical condition. Well, Chattanooga police are looking for the person who shot a man last night on East Brainerd Road at Hamilton Point Apartments. That's just across from the Chattanooga School for the Liberal Arts. Officers say the victim will recover, but they have not said what led up to the shooting at this time. You're asked to call the police department if you have any information that can help investigators. Dorothy Gass faces new criminal charges after police say she lied to 911 dispatchers on New Year's Day, causing a deadly police shooting in Rossville. A Walker County grand jury indicted Gass 3.5 months after a lower court dismissed a case against her. Gass told the dispatcher that her daughter-in-law threatened to kill her children and herself. The GBI is now accusing her of making up the story. Gass faces felony charges of false statements, writings, and concealing facts. An ambush-style shooting leaves at least 1 law enforcement officer dead, 6 others wounded in an affluent South Carolina neighborhood. The shooting took place Wednesday afternoon as police in Florence, South Carolina, arrived to carry out a search warrant for an alleged sexual assault. NBC's Carrie Sanders has more from South Carolina.
The house in this affluent neighborhood remains a crime scene. What no one expected is when police came here to serve a search warrant yesterday, that inside there would be a man described to be in his 70s with a high-powered rifle who would begin shooting when police knocked on the door.
That has a high-powered rifle and is firing at officers as we speak.
This morning, this normally quiet upscale community shaken to its core.
Today will mark a very horrific day in the annals of the Florence Police Department.
Law enforcement in Florence County, South Carolina, trying to come to grips with a tragedy that has impacted so many of their own. 7 officers struck by bullets from a high-powered rifle, one of them killed in the line of duty. The deceased officer identified overnight as 52-year-old Terrence Caraway, a 30-year veteran. This video taken by a nearby resident capturing the sounds of the onslaught.
These officers went there unknowing the firepower this suspect had.
Wednesday afternoon, officers arrived at this home in Vintage Place to execute a search warrant to gather evidence for an alleged sexual assault involving a foster child. Authorities say the suspected shooter, Fred Hopkins, is now in custody. He's the father of the alleged perpetrator of the sex crime that was under investigation.
The subject remained barricaded in the residence with children. The standoff lasted for approximately 2 hours.
All right, so you want to shut down the entire neighborhood? Affirmative at this point. They don't want anybody coming in or out.
Please pray for these officers and their speedy recovery. Pray for the family who lost the bravest police officer that I have ever known.
Police say the alleged gunman eventually came out of the house and collapsed. He was taken to the hospital. His son, Seth Hopkins, who was the focus of the investigation, was shot. He is now in the hospital. Kerry Sanders, NBC News, Florence, South Carolina.
We want to go back to breaking news now. The manhunt in East Ridge has ended. Let's get straight to Channel 3's Tanisha Cordell, who is live on the scene following the story. And Tanisha, have you been able to find out more about what happened and how they were able to capture this man?
So, Latrice, we're still waiting on details on how they've managed to capture them, but this has been a several-hour search that they've been searching for this man, again described as a black man, was wearing originally an orange shirt and blue jeans. We just heard momentarily just screaming, saying, we got them, and then all of a sudden we just ran down this path here. We're literally in the entrance of Camp Jordan. We're told he's supposed to be coming out from this path here. We've seen ATVs, we've seen water boats and whatnot. Earlier we were talking to Chief James Reed with East Ridge Police Department, and he was telling us that the weather lately with all of the rain has really made this search a challenge, just going in and out of this wood line, just it being muddy and just a rough terrain to search for this suspect. But again, we are confirming that he is in custody, again just waiting momentarily for him to be brought up this way and just to be taken into custody. Furthermore, we have seen K9 units as we swing around over here. All of the dogs have been taken up and coming up on the street. So again, the search is over. He is in custody, just still waiting momentarily for him to bring him up here. We'll keep you updated as much as possible. For now, live reporting from East Ridge, Tanisha Cordell, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
So much for that update on that breaking news story there in East Ridge. Again, he has been captured. We're going to continue to follow this story and bring you the latest on air and online. Well, a few years ago, cybersecurity was something for Hollywood to put into movies. Today, it's part of our everyday lives, from the apps we use to home security systems to our personal Wi-Fi network. Hackers can exploit anything to steal identities. Our consumer technology reporter Jamie Tucker takes a look at one thing we all do that puts our information at risk.
We don't think twice about downloading a free app. You use them a few times, have some fun, and then a couple of weeks or days later,
you've forgotten about them completely, but they're sitting on your phone collecting data, sharing data, maybe sharing location, and you haven't given it a second thought.
Russ Schaefer, executive director of the National Cybersecurity Alliance, says apps can do a lot of things to your phones, but stealing your information, well, not technically.
The short answer is you probably gave them permission.
Permission for what? I checked the terms of service for several featured apps in iTunes. They all collect first and last name, home address, email address, phone number, identifiers. Many apps in the Google Play Store are worse. Last year, hundreds of fake apps were uploaded to the Google Play Store and were downloaded over 4 million times. Once installed, hackers gained access to text, calls, passwords, and could use the camera lens. Schaefer says if you're not using an app, you don't want it on your phone.
So, go through, clean out your machine, get rid of those apps, close them off, and just strip down your phone to what you needed at a time.
If you signed up to use those apps with your Facebook login, and many people do, you're given permission for those apps to get your Facebook data, which can include your birth date, your home address, your email address, your phone number, your friends list. So it's a good idea to go through and delete those apps as well. That's What the Tech. I'm Jamie Tucker.
Alrighty, well, apps collect information on anyone who installs them, which is particularly troubling for children. Now, last year, over 1 million children were victims of identity theft or fraud. Time now to go back out to David Carnes. He is at Lake Winnie, but it will soon be Lake Winnipesaukee starting tomorrow as they get ready for Halloween and the fall season. Hi, David.
Latrice, I'm sweating. I'm glistening right now. Unbelievable how warm it is. But you know what? Fall goes on. It is okay. Lake Winnipesaukee, this entire park is going to be transformed. It is transformed. When the lights go down tomorrow night, it will be Lake Winnipesaukee. We'll get to that in just a second. I want to start with the forecast. The warm weather is going to be with us through the weekend. On our Storm Alert 7-day forecast, you'll see the high getting up to 88 degrees today. 88. The average high, 77. We're even going to get up to 90 degrees tomorrow. I'm not even kidding. October, 90 degrees. I can't even believe I'm saying that. But you see the record highs. Okay, breaking news is happening. We're going to head right back to the studio, Latrice.
All right. Okay. Thanks so much. All right. We're hearing there's an update now, of course, on that manhunt. We do know that he has been captured. Let's go straight to the video. Let's take a live look. Is Tanisha there as well? There you are looking at the suspect. They have him in custody. That is from the manhunt this morning that started in Catoosa County with the carjacking. Okay. Let's go to Tanisha live right now for the latest. Tanisha.
Yes, Latrice, as you just saw, they just carried the man from the ATV. He was indeed matching the description they described earlier, black male, orange shirt, wearing blue jeans. He was crying, I mean, tears falling down his eyes. I shouted out asking if he had anything to say, and he just shook his head as he continued to cry. As you see, they're taking him down here. He is handcuffed. Again, this all originated from Catoosa County. They said he was involved and connected into a carjacking. He stole a car that was involved with three people inside that car. No one was severely hurt. He then fled the scene, headed to Eastridge, and here we are at the entrance of Camp Jordan, where he has been captured. Again, this search has been going on for hours since this morning. They've been searching the wood line lining I-75, just near, again, Camp Jordan and the I-75 Welcome Center in Eastridge. Again, as you see there, they have just put him in a car. He is in custody at this time. Again, the scene is still very active as they carry for him. We were told he was armed in the beginning. Still getting word that they're searching for that weapon. Again, they didn't carry anything out except him. But we'll continue to keep you updated on any charges and any updates that comes from this search. We're now live reporting from Eastridge, Tanisha Cordell, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
And Tanisha, really quickly, can you still hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so we're still looking at the video right now, Tanisha, but one of the things earlier we were talking about is that this was able all to come to a really a safe ending for everyone involved out there. But the fact you were talking about earlier, how it was difficult for them in this search because the weather had made it particularly difficult with all the flooding as well last week and the conditions. So again, that they were able to get this man in such a short amount of time is pretty impressive today.
That's right. That's right. They were saying earlier, Chief James Breed with Eastridge Police Department was just saying, with all of that rain, we're dealing with a wide range of wood line here. Again, lining I-75. He said the search crews, I mean, again, crossing 3 agencies. You had Hamilton County, Catoosa County, and Eastridge Police Department all searching this wood line. And they were saying that it's just been extremely muddy. You have creeks around here, too. So it's just definitely been a challenging moment for a lot of them. The suspect has just passed us in that car here. He's looking at me, shaking his head, still crying, tears still shedding from his eyes. Again, when I asked him if he had anything to say as he was being carried out on the ATV, he just shook his head, again, crying nonstop. But again, this has been a challenging search, again, from Eastridge Police Department. I think Chief is over here getting ready to give us some more updates as I'm running over here. We're going to keep you live and get set up here.
All this is unfolding live right now,
Chief.
so let's see what Tanisha can get right now for us.
Y'all just tell me when.
Okay. We're ready when you are.
All right. Today at 12:06, members of the Hamilton County Sheriff's Department, members of the Eastridge Police Department located the suspect that fled earlier in what was called a carjacking. I have since learned from Catoosa County investigators combined with our investigators on this that this was not a carjacking. Okay? These people all knew each other. And apparently this gentleman ran because he has something maybe in his background. I don't know. But why he ran is not known yet. As y'all know, we just placed him in the car and we're taking him to the office for interview. From that point, we will establish what charges will be, and I'll be glad to follow up a little later this afternoon with an update media release of those charges and his name.
What department or which city or county spotted him first? Or
We're all blended in together, so it could have been a deputy, or it could have been one of the Eastridge guys. They were all teamed up.
And did the canines, were they the ones that?
Canines played an important role on this, along with the drone that the Sheriff's Department utilized. That was also another help.
Chief, you mentioned earlier this search has been definitely challenging for all 3 agencies involved here, especially with the weather playing account and with the suspect himself possibly, coming out of clothing that you guys have spotted in him before. So I guess anything that you've spotted along this search that has helped in capturing him at all?
Just the diligence of the canine units that are out there and those officers that are with them, looking for anything they can, any type of track that could have been left on the ground, around the waterway, anything of that is just, that's critical information, and if the dog can't pick it up, then maybe the officer can by sight.
Have you guys been able to find a weapon? I know you said earlier that he was armed with a handgun. Have you guys been able to find that?
Not that I'm aware of at this time.
And about how far from this spot was he arrested, and was he arrested in the river?
From here, a straight line is probably at least 700 yards from where we're at now.
And he was arrested in the river?
It was on the creek area, around that creek area.
Okay.
I guess, what do you say to the people, I mean, who have literally watched this search happen? I mean, we've had viewers and people watch as he's, you know, they've seen him run across the interstate and have literally just watched this thing unfold. What do you say to them at this point?
Thank you for all your help.
If it wasn't a carjacking, do you guys know what initiated the stop or the chase?
We're still working with the investigators down in Catoosa County to see what's on their side.
So
all right, Latrice, we're going to wrap it up here. Chief is still kind of briefing us on what all unfolded, but you heard it here first. This was not a carjacking at all. The suspect involved and the three people involved in that original situation and incident in Catoosa County all knew each other. But long story short here, the suspect is in custody and no danger to the community at this point. We'll keep you updated all day long inside the WRCB app. For now, live in East Ridge, Tanisha Cordell, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
Tanisha, great job on getting us all that information. And I know there's still lots of questions that you probably have to work on and get some answers to. But again, thank you so much for that updated information right now. The suspect, as you said, in custody from that manhunt there in East Ridge. Okay, we're back after this. Stay with us.
Welcome back to News at Noon, and live out at Lake Winnie, Lake Winnipesaukee, but now Lake Winnipesaukee. Starting tomorrow night at 6 o'clock, this place has been transformed and is waiting on you to come and ring in the October season. But I got to tell you, man, it's hot, right? Take a look at the Storm Alert 7-day forecast once again. I do want to show you not just the hot, near record-breaking weather, but looking into the weekend, it's going to stay warm next week. That's what we're focused on. Temperatures are going to gradually cool back down, and we're also going to see a little bit of a better chance of rain toward the middle and end of next week. I want to bring in Mark Hanna. Mark, you are in charge of something special and new that they're doing at Lake Winnipesaukee this year. There are some haunted areas in the park this year. 4 of them. Tell me about it.
Yes, we have 4 haunts to go through, 400 attractions, and they're scary, but they're also fun. You might leave screaming, but you'll also leave laughing. We have the Crazy Clown College, which is all in black light, and it's like a fun house that's been taken over by clowns. We have Shed of the Living Dead.
Love it.
Thank you, which is our homage to the classic horror movies, so you'll see some of your favorites in there. We have Dye Ridge Hospital, which is a hospital gone terribly, terribly wrong.
Sounds like.
Yes, they're trying to control the rising medical costs by hiring the absolute lowest budget doctor they could find, Dr. Payne.
Love it.
And then the classic train ride through the park. Now you'll be traveling across the border and into Transylvania.
So that is just one of the reasons you want to come out to Lake Winnipesaukee. Mark, thank you so much. And another reason, all the rides and attractions are going to be up and running. We have, of course, our all-time favorite, my all-time favorite, the Cannonball. Yes, I love the Cannonball. Cannonball, maybe not your speed, then maybe you try out something a little more my speed. Yeah, how about the bumper cars? The bumper cars going to be up and running. They're getting them ready. I'm watching a couple of employees polishing the bumper cars, getting them all ready. And a little more Jack's speed. Jack's is the guy that we've been putting on every single ride. My goal, quite frankly, is to try to get him to throw up before the day is over. I'm not going to lie to you. But he is on the Orbiter. The Orbiter is another one of the great rides here at Lake Winnie that will be up and running for Lake Winnipesaukee. Mark, we want to make sure that everybody comes out. It starts at 6 with a big party at the front gate, but we want people to come out at 5:30, set up, and just be ready for that party. Tell me about that.
Just remember the kickoff party when we open the gate at 6, then starting at 7, and every hour there's a parade. We have games. We have food. You can come down here and eat. We have 3 different eateries to choose from. The haunts open at 8 o'clock, and it's every Friday and Saturday night in October starting at 6.
Love it, Mark. Thank you very much. Lake Winnipesaukee, and that is all the time we have for this half hour. We'll take a quick break. Another half hour of News at Noon coming up next.
Coverage you can count on. Channel 3 Eyewitness News at noon.
Thank you so much for joining us for Eyewitness News at noon. I'm Latrice Curry. It's a gorgeous but warm fall afternoon, and we're going to check in with David Carnes, who is out on special assignment in just a bit for a look at your forecast. But first, we want to get straight to some developing news. Well, this afternoon, we know a Brainerd High School student has been charged with reckless endangerment. Chattanooga police say last week a female student gave out an unknown substance to students while in school. It sent her and 4 other students to the hospital. Channel 3's Kate Smith joins us now live in the studio with the latest on this investigation. And Kate, what have you learned?
Well, neither the school district nor the Chattanooga Police Department have released what the substance was. But a department spokeswoman told me the student started going to the school nurse with different symptoms. The nurse then called 911 when she said it was beyond her control. This is the second drug-related incident at Hamilton County schools over the last week. Yesterday, 4 Central High School students were taken to a hospital after an incident involving fruit roll-ups laced with marijuana. The female student who brought them was suspended under their zero tolerance rules. Now back at Brainerd, we do know that the female student charged was also one of the students who was transported to an area hospital with symptoms. Now it's a story I will be working on throughout the day, and I hope to have more answers for you tonight on Eyewitness News beginning at 5. But for now, I'm live in the studio. Kate Smith, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
Alrighty, Kate, thanks so much for that update. Well, police asking everyone to be on the lookout for a silver Chevy Trailblazer. Also say someone hit a 3-year-old yesterday afternoon and then drove off. It happened on Milne Street near North Willow Street. Take a look at this surveillance picture. The Trailblazer has a damaged hood with a bike rack. If you recognize the SUV, you're encouraged to call Chattanooga Police. The number there at the bottom of your screen. Happening now, work is underway at the site of the Fallen 5 Memorial at the River Park. Work began around 9 o'clock this morning. Trees are being taken down to make room for the Wreath of Honor. The owner of the tree removal company is donating the work. The site is near the fishing park and boat ramp. The memorial honoring the 5 service members is expected to be complete by July 16th of next year. 3 children are still in the hospital after a car crash a week ago. The Georgia State Patrol says the car they were in hydroplaned in Dalton and collided with another car. The mother tells us her 6-year-old son is in the ICU at Erlanger. The other 2 children are recovering in Atlanta. Now friends are trying to help with medical expenses.
The next couple of years are going to be hard, and if I can help by providing some sort of financial stability, that's what I'm trying to do.
We're told charges are pending in the case as GSP is working to figure out what caused that crash. The boyfriend of one of the older children was driving at the time. The superintendent of Hamilton County Schools is now responding to parents' complaints about overcrowding on school buses. The school board is checking student counts with drivers and reviewing the entire transportation system. Possible changes include school start times, adding routes, and a partnership with CARTA. But these ideas could prove difficult to put into place.
For us, and there are complexities there because of the way transportation is structured, and then how our routes are built around what is already a very complex system.
He says, yes, sometimes buses are crowded, but emphasizes that no laws are being broken. The board is still working on finding solutions in hopes of having improvements in place by next semester. Legislation aimed at combating the country's opioid epidemic is on the president's desk. It was overwhelmingly approved in the Senate yesterday. The Senate Majority Leader said the proposal will deliver critical resources to establish opioid-specific recovery centers. It also brings in more behavioral and mental health providers. Federal agents have arrested a Utah man as part of a ricin investigation linked to the White House and the Pentagon. He was taken into custody yesterday and is being held without bail for threats of terrorism. According to the booking report, he sent letters containing ground castor beans to the president, the FBI director, Secretary of Defense, and the Chief of Naval Operations. All 4 letters tested positive for ricin poison. Castor beans is a precursor of ricin that is not dangerous. The letters were received in a shipping office and did not actually enter the White House or the Pentagon. Starting this Saturday in Cohutta, the USDA will start dropping rabies vaccinations across the Tennessee Valley. This is to help stop the spread of rabies. The baits are safe, but you should leave them alone if you see them. They are not harmful to pets. Now, the distribution will be in Dalton on Monday. And next week, they'll be distributed in Cherokee, North Carolina. Across the South, about 2 million of the packets will be distributed. Hundreds of animals were rescued from Hurricane Florence, and many still need a home. Tomorrow through Sunday, all adoption fees will be waived at McCamey Animal Center in Chattanooga. The program, Free the Shelter, will take care of the bill. If you can't adopt, you can still help out by donating bowls and also by donating some toys to help out those animals. All right, time now to check back in with David Carnes, who is outside. And David, last time we talked, you were talking about how you were glistening and even sweating a little bit out here on this October the 4th fall at Lake Winnie.
Yeah, I honestly look like one of the vampires from Twilight. That was the kind of glisten I had going on. Maybe not quite as awesome as they looked, but you know, you get the idea. Yeah, we're out at Lake Winnipesaukee, now Lake Winnipesaukee as of tomorrow night. Gets underway at 6 p.m. and this place is awesome. Now, we're going to show you some of the rides. We've been showing you some of the rides that they have. 4 haunted areas where you can come in and get a little bit of a fright, have a lot of fun, and you will have a blast. It's every Friday and Saturday, but I'm telling you, this first Friday and Saturday, it's going to be a little on the toasty side. 84 right now, heat index of 89. We're going to get up to 88 degrees with a heat index in the low to mid 90s this afternoon. Tomorrow, we're going to have a high of 90 when you're coming out to Lake Winnie at 5:30 to get your spot at the front gate for the opening show at 6. Temperatures will be in the 80s. So we'll have more on your forecast, more live from Lake Winnie coming up in just a few moments. Latrice?
All righty. Thanks so much there, David. Well, still ahead on Eyewitness News at noon, organic foods can be expensive. Researchers share some tips on which ones you can avoid. Okay, we want to update you on that breaking news out of East Ridge. Okay, you saw it unfold live right here just moments ago. A suspect now in custody following a manhunt on I-75 near Camp Jordan. He was driven by police out of the woods. You saw the man. He was crying, very emotional. The man, who police have not yet identified, was believed to be connected to a carjacking, but we are told, as Tanisha Cordell, we learned in that news conference, it was not a carjacking. The East Ridge police chief says he doesn't know why the man was running from police and that the man knew the other people involved in the situation. Now, the suspect was also believed to be armed, but they did not find a weapon as of reporting time just a few minutes ago. The East Ridge police chief credits the canine units and the drone for finding the suspect. Well, Channel 3's Tanisha Cordell is following the story. As soon as we know more about the events leading up to this chase, we're going to let you know about this situation. So stay with us on air and online. Well, reports show that organic foods are on average 47% more expensive than non-organic foods. For people wanting to avoid pesticides in produce and watch what they spend, the Environmental Working Group says there are some fruits and veggies that are more important to buy organic than others. Haley Hernandez has the latest.
Peppers, pears, potatoes, these are just a few of the dirty dozen.
A lot of research that's showing that pesticides can do damage to our gut microflora.
Dietitian Erin Gussler says it's understandable people avoid organic produce due to price. But she says if you're going to invest in any clean fruits and veggies, these are the most important.
If you look, you can see the little pits where the seeds are, and that's a really good place for a lot of things to get in there. Similar with our grapes. Grapes are hard to peel. It takes a lot more effort, so it is one that's just worth buying organic.
So is spinach, nectarines, apples, peaches, cherries, tomatoes, celery, and peppers. And even if it is organic, it's not totally free from pesticides. Washing fruits and veggies is important to rinse away chemicals and bacteria the foods come in contact with, from the people picking them to the people touching them in the store. Instead of spending money on products to wash fruits and veggies, Gussler recommends soaking them in a solution made of water with vinegar, salt, or baking soda, even though she says water alone will help eliminate exposure.
If you can get in there and just wash it by hand, that's a big thing. Reduces pesticides by about 20%.
Haley Hernandez with that report. Well, the Dirty Dozen you heard about is a guide that is released annually. The Environmental Working Group composes the list of fruits and veggies that contain the most amount of pesticide residues. Right now, strawberries top the list, followed by spinach. Sweet bell peppers are at the bottom of the list. So when you're eating strawberries, you may want to spend some extra time cleaning them beforehand, as you saw there in that report. All right, let's head back outside to David Carnes, who is at Lake Winnie, which will soon be Lake Winnipesaukee a little later this week. David.
Latrice, Lake Winnipesaukee is ready. It is set to go. It is just waiting on people. And tomorrow at 6 p.m., the party is going to get started. We'll talk more about that in a second. It is hot out here. 84 degrees. The heat index is 89. Let's put up the 7-day forecast, and you're going to see no real relief through the weekend. As a matter of fact, tomorrow it's going to reach 90 degrees. 90 degrees tomorrow afternoon. So as you are coming out to Lake Winnipesaukee tomorrow evening, wear shorts, wear a T-shirt. Do wear shoes. You have to wear shoes. Come on. A lot of great things going on. Not only do they transform it into Lake Winnipesaukee, but they also have so many of the great rides that you're familiar with. By the way, it cools down next week. We'll be at around 79, 80 degrees for much of next week. Okay, so I've had a couple of texts. People are asking me, David, why aren't you riding any of the rides? Well, I'll tell you, because A, the rides that we have up and running and ready to go, I'm 50 years old, and bad things happen when I ride the spinny rides, and that's what we have up and running. Second, this ride I'm not going to ride because when I walked over, A, it's a spinny thing. B, there's a skull on the front of it, a skull. I'm going to come over. This is Peyton. He's the ride operator. Jax has been our guinea pig all day. First of all, Peyton, what does the skull mean?
That means it's one of our more intense rides. We have the ghosts and the pumpkins as well. The pumpkins are child friendly. The ghosts are kind of in the middle.
I love it. Very good. So one of the more intense rides, perfect for Jax. We've been trying to get him sick all day. Jax, how you feeling?
Ready for round 3.
All right, buddy, let's do it. I'm going to let you guys go and fire up. This is called the Genie, and while they're going up and running the Genie, we're going to once again talk to our friend Matt Hanna. Matt, you have helped organize a lot of the spookier part of the park. This is brand new stuff, so tell me what we have going on this year that we haven't seen at Lake Winnipesaukee before.
So for our 10th year anniversary here of Lake Winnipesaukee, we have 4 haunted attractions. We have the Dye Ridge Hospital. We have the classic train ride, which we have stuff on there. Now, from 6 to 8, it's good for everybody, family friendly, but at 8 o'clock it starts getting scary. We have our Crazy Clown College, which is a fun house gone crazy, and we have our Living Dead, Shed of the Living Dead, which is our homage to classic horror movie guys, everybody from Dracula and Frankenstein to Freddy, Jason, and Michael.
I love it. And I went through one of them, and this is my experience every time I come out to Lake Winnipesaukee. You end up going through the haunted places, screaming at one second and laughing hysterically at the next second. So there's the Genie. And look, the Genie looks horrifying, doesn't it? Just horrifying. They don't have it up and running yet. But I want you to come out tomorrow night. Starts at 6 o'clock every Friday and Saturday through October. Lake Winnipesaukee is going to be up and running. And I'm going to hang out here and see if I can get on some of the rides. Just me, by myself. Latrice, back to you.
David, you can always do the classic train ride there. All right, thanks so much. Well, coming up on Eyewitness News at noon, a race in Germany has people paddling for victory in a very unusual way. We'll explain. We want to once again update you on that breaking news that we've been following all throughout the hour, news out of East Ridge. Now, you saw it unfold here live about 30 minutes ago. The suspect now in custody following a manhunt on I-75 that happened near Camp Jordan. Now, the man was driven out by police. You saw that live out of the woods. The man was crying. The man, who police have not yet identified, was believed to be connected to a carjacking in Catoosa County. That's what we originally told you when we first brought you the story, but we learned that that is not the case. Now, the East Ridge police chief says he does not know why the man was running from police. He's been taken to the police department for questioning. The suspect was also believed to be armed, but they have not found a weapon as of this time right now. Now, the East Ridge police chief held a brief news conference, and he said that the K-9 units and the drones were responsible and a big help in finding this guy. Channel 3's Tanisha Cardell was live on the scene, and we're going to have much more on this all throughout the day. All right, we want to go back out really quickly now to David Carnes. Once again, there is David. You've taken a seat, cooling off as we wrap up with one last look at the forecast. Hot out there, isn't it, David, you were saying?
Yeah. Latrice, we have found a shady spot where nobody moves. This is a great place to lay down, relax, rest. You just may have trouble getting up after you're done. This is all part of Lake Winnipesaukee. It is so fun out here. And I'm telling you, we're in a cool spot, but it is warm out there. It's 84, feels like 89. I want to pull up the 7-day one more time. It is not going to cool down at all through the weekend. Upper 80s near 90, and then cooling next week. That's all the time we have. Come on out to Lake Winnipesaukee tomorrow night at 6. Latrice?
Alrighty, thank you so much there, David, and thank you for joining us for Eyewitness News at noon. Days of Our Lives is next. Have a great day, everyone.